Hi! You are cordially invited to a one-day meditation retreat on April 26, 2025 from 8:30 to 5:30 featuring all of your favorite meditation gurus. Psych! You have fallen victim to actually purchasing tickets for the upcoming Cynic show. But don't worry, Cynic shows can resemble meditation retreats in many ways, including the incorporation of yoga, mindfulness, and supposedly an intro seminar to human anatomy. Look, I didn't want to make this video, and I know a lot of you might think I am royally hating on Cynic, and I am, but I believe I have just cause to feel this way, and I want to show you why. First of all, I don't typically watch new live footage of Cynic, and I don't want to, because I feel like this band has become rather sad to watch. I think a lot of this has to do with Paul's madness coming out, as no one in the band has a rein on what Paul can say or do.
Oh, it's going to this part and not this part. They would always try and predict them. They never fucking knew where these things were going. They're fucking wild hurricanes. At this point, I wonder if it was weather modification, because I don't know what's real anymore with any of that stuff. But
I promise, this is the only time I am going to show something like this in the video, as I don't want to focus on outlandish conspiratorial ways of thinking.
Gotta know the rules to be able to break them, right?
Man, the Cali Death podcasts are pretty unbearable at times.
What pets do you currently have?
The fuck are you doing?
Now, I think it's fair to say that you could refer to me as an old school Cynic head, meaning focus is goated and nothing else matters. Some of the demos are pretty sick too. Cynic used to be cool. I think a lot of this had to do with the fact that there was so much mystique around the band, and not a lot known about them and the individuals. I really miss those days, especially when the Cynical Sphere was still up. And I think that's why I try and avoid this band now, because I think it's become quite the train wreck. Regardless, even though I consciously and unconsciously avoid this band, I am still sent videos from friends or recommended videos through YouTube. But if it weren't for someone sending me this brutal assault footage, I most likely wouldn't have seen it, nor would I have made this video. And someone seriously needs to sit Paul down and level with him, because, well,
he can't keep getting away with it!
Like, some of this footage is just downright awful, and if I were a part of this lineup, I would not have wanted Brutal Assault to post this. Paul's solo in Adam's Murmur was the springboard for infuriating me, and you might be thinking, you got some deep-seated issues, and you're obviously projecting, and maybe you're right. But I think that is a poor and insufficient response to this, because as an artist of any kind, when you put your creations and content out into the public, you have to know that there is potential that your work will be scrutinized or ridiculed. And with that said, you can ridicule and scrutinize this video essay of mine as much as you like. And Paul, of all people, is not new to this.
I watched them open for Cannibal Corpse and they practically got booed off stage.
I don't believe I'm the only one who feels this way, but I do see a lot of comments saying how great this is. I feel like there is this sense of toxic positivity towards this band, where they can do no wrong. Scenes or art as a whole requires critique and criticism. Like, don't you want the style or genre or scene you're into to evolve and elevate and not become self-parody? Typically, I don't care what musicians wear when they perform live, but I have to agree with many people in the comments stating their disdain for some of the individuals' attire in this band.
This is a certified hood classic.
It seems like they just don't give a f***, and I get it. That's always kind of been the MO or shtick of Cynic, to not give f***s and just be yourself. But come on guys, put a little effort in. Like, please don't dress like you're posing for your LinkedIn photo shoot.
Bruh.
Enough blabbering. Let's get into my research and evidence portion.
This performance of How Could I at Heavy Chicago I think illustrates some of my points. And I want to clarify that I understand the quote-unquote historical significance of this vocalist and his connection to the band. If you aren't aware, Brian Denneff tracked vocals on Cynic's 1991 demo, which was never released, until Paul released them in 2017, which in my opinion didn't need to be heard by anyone. Anyways, this performance is beyond lackluster, as the vocalist clearly doesn't know the lyrics, as well as any of the placements. If you didn't know, Obscura frontman also did some guest vocals on some live performances with Cynic, and he didn't seem to know the lyrics as he stood there awkwardly looking at an iPad, which is strange because I thought he was really into Focus.
Well, I think Stefan Stefan was already into Spheres, the Spheres album of Pestilence, and also Cynic, the Focus album of Cynic.
This is actually hard to watch, and I feel embarrassment and empathy for this individual. This would not be fun under any circumstances. Paul even looks like he's going to have a mental breakdown near the end. And clearly the vocalist is uncomfortable as he is ready to get the off stage as quickly as possible. And whether you are ready for it or not, here are some highlights. One of Cynic's heaviest tunes,
This is the brutal one.
Your Borg Forms, is just a big now.
Now, a word from our sponsor.
This audio tree recording is another one that grinds my gears. Let's grade each individual's performance. Drummer Boy, C+. It would suck standing in the shadows of Reinert's playing, but good effort, chump. There's no groove whatsoever. You just sound too rigid and straight for me to give a shit. Faceless Guy, B-. You're probably the best out of the bunch, but you're still pretty boring. Max Phelps, just give up the guitar already. Stop playing. F.
Perfect.
Paul, D-, for not executing your own music in a high standard. F*** you. Well, this almost concludes my video. Thanks for letting me hate so much. But I do want to finish with a few more points. Paul seems to have been placed on this pedestal, and no one has the balls to tell him how it is. Like, it's just a complete glaze fest, and these individuals are just high on their own farts. Paul, to some extent, has become this cult leader, and his disciples just go along with what he says. There are videos of Paul discussing the idea that mistakes are a part of the live experience.
This is what we need in the age of all this perfection and things being so meticulously flawless with these performances. Like, I want to hear someone play a bad note, sing something wrong, fuck up a part. Like, that makes it cool. Because, like, if I want perfect, give me the record, you know?
And yes, I can agree with this to an extent, but you can't continually use this as a scapegoat. This band used to be known for its high caliber of musicianship, and I think Cynic just needs to hang it up. Just ride off into the sunset, Paul, and don't look back. Someone also needs to deal with this pirate. But that's it for me. This band has jumped the shark, and it just reeks of amateur hour. And I don't want to dismantle Paul's career.
Like, I want to hear someone play a bad note, sing something wrong, fuck up a part. Like, that makes it cool.
I just think something needs to be said about this band, which has always been synonymous with greatness. I know this may be difficult to hear, but criticism is necessary as well as gatekeeping, and you don't always have to enjoy what your favorite artist produces. And lastly, not everything can be gold, but at the same time, not everything should be a polished turd.
Much love.